Hi everyone, this is the video for problem 6-7. It's actually not as bad as it seems. What you're given in your textbook is this lovely sideways version of a 10-column worksheet. And we're asked to complete the income statement, the balance sheet, and the statement of owner's equity. So this is pretty much like what we did in chapter 5, as well as part of what we did on the midterm. So what I've actually done is I've opened my hard copy version of the textbook to make life easier so I'm not trying to turn my head sideways to look at the amounts. So if you remember, for an income statement, we're going to list our revenue account. In this case, it is consulting fees. You're going to list the amount, and you're going to look at the last 4 columns. So it's in the income statement and balance sheet. And this is where you're going to get your information from for the income statement and balance sheet. So we have $4,204. And we're going to have our expenses, and you're just going to list the expenses as they are in the book. So it's going to start with wages expenses. I believe advertising expense is next. Let's see. Rent. If I could type, that would be great. Supplies. Phone. Electricity. Insurance expense. Make sure I have electricity expense. Gas and oil. And then looks like depreciation expense. Office equipment, and then finally miscellaneous expense. Then we're just going to add up all the amounts. We're going to list the net income. So we're just going to go back up here to the income statement. So we have 1,600, 60, 500. Okay, and here we're just going to let Excel do the math for us. And then we're going to find the net income, $4,204. And just to make my life easier, I'm going to let Excel do the subtraction too. So we have a net income of $1,450. The book does give us some check numbers for this problem. Capital, post-closing, here we go. Net income, $1,450. So we know we're on the right track. So now we do the statement of owner's equity. So the owner's name is Juanita Alvarez. because I am a little tired today, I'm going to make sure and go to page 189 or 187 in the textbook. It does a great example of the statement of owner's equity. And so at the beginning of the month, there was no capital. We have investments for June. So we're going to go back to the page. And the capital was $7,000. So we have total investment, $7,000. We have our net income for June of $1,450. Less withdrawals for June. That was $800. That tells us we have an increase in capital. So that's 1,450 minus 800 gives us 650. And then we have Juanita Alvarez capital as of June 30th. And that is going to be 7,650. Let's make sure that's what the book says we should have. Capital is 7,650. So now we can move on to the balance sheet. The balance sheet starting in this chapter for the rest of the quarter is completely different than what we've been using. So make sure you look at page 187 to see how we're supposed to do it. So first we're going to list assets. And we're going to list the current assets. These are assets that we plan to use within a month. So it would be cash. Let's see, it would be cash, accounts receivable, supplies, and prepaid insurance. Then we have our total current assets. Then we have our property, plant, and equipment. This is where we're going to take into consideration the office equipment. So we're going to list office equipment, but we're also going to list the depreciation. So we have less accumulated depreciation, and that is going to give us our total asset amount. Then we're going to go with our liabilities. Technically, these two should be centered. I'm not that concerned about that. I'm more concerned about whether or not you can get the information correct. So we have current liabilities. And this is going to be our accounts payable and wages payable. And then we're going to have our total current liabilities. And we have our owner's equity. Again, technically that should be centered. So here we're only going to have Juanita Alvarez Capital. And so we're going to take that amount from the statement of owner's equity of $7,650. And the rest of the information is going to come from the last two columns on the balance sheet for the 10-column worksheet. So we're just going to enter them in. Cash is $5,285. Supplies are $500. And then prepaid insurance is $400. So we're going to total those. Again, I'm just going to let Excel do the math to save time. So now we're going to our office equipment is $2,200. Our depreciation is $110. That gives us a total, again, I'm just going to let Excel do the math, of $2,090, and our total assets are going to be the sum of our current assets and our property, plant, and equipment information. And I entered them in the wrong column. So your property, plant, and equipment is going to go directly next to your depreciation amount. And then your total asset amount is going to go directly underneath that. Now we're going to enter in our liabilities. Let's see, accounts payable is $1,500. $200 is our wages payable. We're going to add the two amounts. And then we're going to add those two amounts together. So we need total liabilities and owner's equity. And there we go, our numbers match. If you have any questions on 6-7, let me know and have a great day.